twist it just enough. Isn't that perfectly satanic? Microsoft's pesky rival. Do you remember Bill Gates and Microsoft were having a problem legally with their monopoly? Until what? Until he donated $250 million to the vaccination initiative, and suddenly his legal problems miraculously resolved. Miracle vaccines, folks. Then it says right under that, new ways to fight earaches, the flu, strep throat, and maybe even cancer. All of those have been definitively linked to the immune suppression and the physical damage induced by the vaccinations. This is absolute classic. And it says the dumbing down of the military. It's actually the dumbing down of the United States public. Now, I would urge you, after we finish tonight, to reread the book of Revelation. It says, the complete Jewish Bible says, below is the King James Bible, nor did they turn from their murdering, their misuse of drugs in connection with the occult, their sexual immorality, or their stealing. King James, Revelation 10:21 says, neither repent they of their murders, nor of their sorceries. Root word of sorcery is pharmaceutical, drugs, misuse of drugs, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. They have literally stolen the image of America. They have stolen everything about this country, and it is going down. God has continued to bless America, but the people have failed to continue to bless God. And this country is going out right now. Now, here's also, when you go through Revelation, the book of Revelation, other hints that you can really take to the bank, and the Rockefellers in particular, the banksters, Citibank, Chase Manhattan Bank, is that they're referred to in Revelation 18:23 as having deceived. That is, the people who brought on the great plagues of the end times. The great Babylonian downfall is caused by, Revelation 18:23 says, those who deceived the world's wealthiest men. Revelation 18:9, the world's leaders went whoring after them. Just like I showed you on Capitol Hill, our political puppets on Capitol Hill are going whoring after, prostituting their votes, their legislation on behalf of the world's wealthiest men who control the global pharmaceutical industrialists that practice sorcery, pharmacopoeia. Those who stole the blood of the prophets and the people, Revelation 18:24 says, there's a Lawrence Rockefeller that put together the New York City Blood Council, the Council of Doctors that put together the New York City Blood Bank. They became the international blood banksters. Those are the people that were involved in the several genocides in the past, including the one against the hemophiliac populations, who they knowingly gave the AIDS virus to. They corrupted the entire earth. Thanks to the Rockefellers and the royal family, the Dutch royal family, including the British royal family, the petroleum industrialists, they've polluted the entire earth. And they blame you for your desire to drive cars. And they practice sorcery. That's pharmaceutical medicine. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because we're going to be short on time unless I do. But you're getting the picture. With the anthrax, picture photograph of time says the fear factor was used. And that's all this anthrax mailings was really about. It was a psychological operation brought on by those who are making vast fortunes off of humanity's suffering, particularly the vaccine industrialists, as I'm going to share with you now. The fact is, I've listed the Green Mile because there's one line in it that makes the movie worth seeing. The big, black, beautiful angel that comes down to help heal the planet decides at the end of the movie that he doesn't want to have anything to do with this planet. He wants to die. He wants out of here. Why? He says, because I can't stand the way they use love to kill. You love your children, you get them vaccinated. You love your country, you send your children to war. They use love to kill. How totally satanic that is and how totally real that is. I was watching, after 9/11 attacks, not long after, on September the 27th, I believe it was. It was either September 27th or 28th. It was a Wednesday night. I was watching the ABC News with Peter Jennings. He ended his evening broadcast by saying, quote, "Tomorrow we're going to cover anthrax. We're going through your fears one by one, day by day. Good night." End quote. The next day, about a third of the ABC News was an infomercial for Cipro. Do you remember? You even had some of our anchormen hold it up saying, "In Cipro we trust." Now, the Rockefeller family, let me just give you some final background before I go into the anthrax picture. You have to understand that who runs the petrochemical, pharmaceutical cartel is beginning with IG Farben. I'll show you some of that information in a minute. IG Farben, Germany's leading industrial organization that, according to the United States Congressional Record, was full-fledged married, that's a quote, married partners with Rockefeller Standard Oil Company. And so you have to understand, going back, there's a number of books that have been written about this already. Rockefeller family monopolized American medicine in the 1920s. They monopolized public health, the entire field of public health, already by the 1920s. And that they created the cancer industry, literally created it. And they took over the American Cancer Society. It was a fledgling, floundering organization. They took it over, and through, again, mind control, media manipulations, they got people to begin to give to the American Cancer Society and creating all this entire cancer industry. Now, isn't it interesting, the photograph that U.S. News and World Report uses for dying for a cure, the skull and bones symbol of Yale, the secret society of Yale. I'm going to show you in a couple minutes that that little cross bones there, that X is a 6. And that, again, the Rockefellers are in bed with those who control the globe from Britain. Are you for population control? Do you like infanticide? Well, if you don't, then you're not in line with the Rockefellers' agenda. The birth control pill called RU486 is owned by the Population Council, developed by the Rockefellers. All of the population councils, including those that call for a 50% reduction in the United States' population currently, are funded by the Rockefellers. Well, if you want to get rid of life or anything, you 86 it, right? Are you for 86? Are you for 86ing life? Well, you better be. Here from the Council on Foreign Relations published Foreign Affairs Journal is a full-page plea for you Americans to realize why you need a smaller U.S. population, calling for a United States population to be reduced by half, down to 125 to 145 million people. That's down from currently about 275 million. So 1 out of every 2 of you people watching this program on video or sitting in the audience tonight should no longer be here, and these people are well on their way to having their way. There's your beast. That's a global beast. It's not the top man, but he's certainly high up on the Illuminati hierarchy. The double X stands for 666. Here's how I determine that. This is all laid out in the book, Death in the Air, Globalism, Terrorism, and Toxic Warfare, and I believe that it helps us as a united Christian people to ultimately, and it works for Jews too if they would simply accept the New Testament, to determine who is the beast in the end times that we need to be wary about. That is Revelation 13:18. Now, Nikola Tesla, the last century's greatest genius, said if humanity only knew the powers of the 3, 6s, and 9s, it'd be a whole new planet. And there is power in God's numbers. I'm not talking about numerology here. We're going way beyond to divine, sacred knowledge and sacred geometry even. The bottom line is, and I've laid this out before, so I'm going to cut to the punchline. The bottom line is that the Brits are using